what was the decision you made where it was like, okay, it's time to move? Was it jobs, logistics, kids, the neighborhood you were living in? Like, what were the things? Can be multiple things, but talk to me a little bit about that. What was the thing that was the catalyst?
So we really loved living in Philly. We loved living in the city. We were living there since 2017 or 2018.
Okay, so you guys are like second time upsizers, I guess.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
yes. When I think about stress about the whole process, none of my stress came from the actual process of buying the house itself. It was all just like external stuff going on like outside of that. So kudos to you.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to MillenniUP. I am doing this interview without my co-host, so I am going to be muddling along here. Tonight, I have the Goodmans, who are, as you can see from their title, if you're watching this on YouTube, hashtag superfans. So Ross and Emily came to me by referral from, I think it was your grandparents, right?
Yes.
Who are also super fans.
Yep, you sold their house in Rivercrest.
Yeah, although I did not know if they were going to be super fans until the end because they were a little hot and cold, but I think they were happy with
the job done.
Yeah, we got the job done. So, welcome onto the show, guys. Thank you for hopping on. I know it's the evening hour, but wanted to just kind of bring you on, see, just have a little chat here. And talk to you about your home buying experience. And you guys are not first time. You guys were not first time home buyers. You have like multiple properties, correct?
Yes, correct. We have an apartment in Fairmount and a house in South Philly.
There you go. And did you rent? So you rented those after you bought your house?
Yes, currently renting them right now.
Currently renting them. So it's people your age usually don't have like real estate assets to rent and sell and all that good stuff, but you guys were certainly the anomaly. So why don't you guys talk to me a little bit about, like, let's just dive right in here. Like, what was the decision you made where it was like, okay, it's time to move? Was it jobs, logistics, kids, the neighborhood you were living in? Like, what were the things? Can be multiple things, but talk to me a little bit about that. What was the thing that was the catalyst?
So we really loved living in Philly. We loved living in the city. We were living there since 2017 or 2018. And we loved it, being able to walk to, downtown, walk to restaurants, bars, the stadiums, wherever, just always something going on. But we were there for 3 or 4 years together, and it kind of just got to a point where we wanted our own parking. We wanted a yard for the dog. We wanted something a little bit more quiet and peaceful and not, a little more safe, less crime. So in the last summer of 2023, we kind of started our house hunt out here in the Burbs.
Got it. And so you said you lived in the city for 4 years?
We lived together. You lived in the city so we both lived there since 2017. And then, so we were in Fairmount for 3 years and then South Philly for 3 years.
Okay. And did you buy that South Philly house together?
Yes.
You did. Okay. So you guys are like second time upsizers, I guess?
Yeah, actually. Yeah. So the Fairmount apartment was a little under like 550 square feet.
Yes.
And then,
so we were living there with the dog and both of us.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then
how big? South Philly is like 1,200?
Yeah.
So yeah, a little incrementally getting a little bit bigger as we
and now your house is like 2,400 square feet, which is great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's doubling.
So talk to me a little bit about like how you came. I mean, obviously you came to the decision to move. Like, what was your first step? Was it a lender? Was it a realtor? Did you just start talking to family? Did you start talking to friends? Like, how did that all come about?
So we started just perusing realtors to see our options. I had worked with another realtor before, but my grandparents highly suggested Seth to use as a realtor. So I agreed to meet Seth, and we went to, I'm acting like your third person, but We agreed to meet you, and then we spent like an hour at that one house. We weren't even sure if we were ready to buy at that point, but we spent an hour sitting out back, getting to know each other, and just kind of like fell in love just with the process, with you and your just approach to realty. And is that a word?
It passes. You're good.
Yep. So we both really liked you, and then we got hooked on your portal, and then we just started looking casually until we were serious.
Yeah, I remember that conversation because that was the one in Upper Dublin, right? Was that Upper Dublin with that big backyard?
Yeah.
God, and you had a boot.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was that before my surgery? I think it was before.
It
Yeah.
was before. You had just ruptured your Achilles?
Yes. Yeah, that was a long summer. That was brutal. But yeah, so yeah, we were in the backyard with the boot, and just, soaking up all the info that you had, and we learned a ton, and that really kickstarted our search.
Yeah, and you guys, and I remember Ross, you had a lot of questions, and I think Emily, you were more motivated than he was, right?
Yeah, I wanted to get out of no, actually it was the other way around. Ross wanted to get out faster than I did.
Got it. Okay, I can't keep everyone straight.
Yeah. But yeah, I was ready to leave, and Emily probably could have stayed there a little bit longer than I preferred, but all ended up working out in the end.
Got it. So what was something in the home buying process though that like you that was unexpected? What was something that surprised you? Was it, where you ended up? Was it how easy or how hard it was? Or like talk to me about that.
I'll just go real quick and I'll let you pop in. I would have never thought we'd end up in Collegeville, not because I'd had any negative thoughts about it. I don't think I've like ever really been out here. And it's wonderful. We love it out here. There's a ton to do. It's, you can go on a hike, you can bars, restaurants, like whatever. There's a ton out here. And I'd like to get your thoughts as well, but I thought it was hard and easy at the same time. Like we kind of fell into a great situation where we were looking at this house and the deal that was previously in place had just fallen through. So in the grand scheme of things, I think we got really lucky. But we did, we saw a number of houses before this one, and we, put in a couple offers here and there, and I felt like it was hard and easy at the same time. And I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, no, I think just the way we got this house was interesting, and how it was sitting for like a week before on the portal before we even got to see it. And then you reached out to the realtor and asked what the deal was. And then we got in and we saw it and we loved it. It needed a lot of work. It smelled like cigarettes and cat pee. And
yes, it did.
That was the two things that probably got us the house and got us more of a credit towards our down payment. So that's definitely different from most experiences that I hear currently going on the market right now. So
well, we were in that. I mean, remember we had one in Orland that was like, I remember talking to the agent Justin. I'm like, you just can't tell me that someone wants to pay this much money for a house like that. I don't think we actually put an offer in on that one. I think it was just a verbal. It was like a Sunday and like. Yeah, it was a Sunday. You were like calling Ross. Ross was like out of town, and you're like, "Hey," and Ross was like, "I don't know. I guess we're gonna buy a house," and we just threw a verbal number over. But so you guys had already. I think how many offers did we actually end up placing?
I think two,
one or two. Yeah,
this was the second one.
Was it the second one? Which one was the one that?
The one
Integrity Ave. You didn't, Julie or.
No,
Julie did that one. I was out of town, I think.
Yeah, Julie took us to the open house.
Yeah.
And I think that was one we were offering, like we put an escalation up to like $50K over, and we still weren't even like.
Yeah.
And it didn't even have central air, which was crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that happens, unfortunately. But no, I remember seeing the house that you're actually living in, and yeah, like I think we went to see it and you're like, well, like how, like, do we have to go over ask? I'm like, man, this thing's been on for 10 days. We're not like, I want to kick it like it's 2017 again. I'm like, I don't want to give these people more than we need to. So yeah, I think we built in an assist, which was great. And we actually got to inspect it.
Yeah, which was, I think for us was going to be a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
But thankfully it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard with the inspections. We have a couple ways to get around that these days, with like bringing inspectors, by for second showings and that kind of stuff. Um, what was the most stressful part of the whole process, though?
Um, well, for me, honestly, the most stressful part was outside of even just like the real estate transaction. Like there was a lot going on in our lives. Like I was starting a new job. We just found out our dog had cancer. So there was just a lot of like life stuff that was going
Mhm.
on around the same time, and it was just very stressful. But
The most stressful part for me was getting all the work we needed done before we moved in because we didn't want to be paying two mortgages at the same time and also renting our place out. There was like a lot of like external factors that I was worried about, but our contractor absolutely killed it and got a majority of the work done before we moved in.
And where did you find that contractor?
through Seth.
Stuff,
And
yes.
Seth, to your credit, when I think about stress about the whole process, none of my stress came from the actual process of buying the house itself. It was all just like external stuff going on like outside of that. So kudos to you.
Well, I appreciate that, and I really try to. And we actually are going to release a. Actually, I don't know if the episode is out yet, but we talk a lot about like the. I think the most important, like I guess the easiest way to keep things stress free is to be communicative with the client and just answer questions in real time. Like
Mhm.
there's something that doesn't sit well with me with somebody um, going to bed with an unanswered question. Now, like, listen, you text. I mean, I have clients who text me at 11 o'clock at night, and they're like, oh my god, we're all gonna die. Like, please answer this. I'm usually asleep, but
Yeah,
usually, if I can answer questions for you in real time, or I can get you in touch with somebody who can get you that answer, or any of the other people that I surround myself with can get you answers right away, that has like an aggregated effect on keeping things tame.
totally.
And
Mhm.
um, so I appreciate that. And I take pride in trying to create a process where you guys aren't like guessing all the time, because you're not real estate people. You are whatever you are. You're salespeople and parents and kids and or whatever. It's important that it sometimes can be hard, and I think this is true for any profession. If you do something all day every day, you have a tendency to like kind of blow past the consumer. And I always try to be cognizant and just be like, slow down, Seth, slow down, talk slow, always ask if they have any questions, that type of thing. You did some repairs. Let's talk about the house. What did you guys do? So you said the house. I remember the house. Yes, it did smell like cat. And you know what? You guys say smoke, but I'll tell you, I had such a sensitivity to the cat that I don't think I smelled smoke.
We'll come back. I'll show you where it smells. But yeah, so the contractor came in the first day when we settled, and he ripped up all the carpet upstairs, and they basically used the landing as a litter box, and it was still like soaking wet underneath. And then so basically we replaced all the flooring, we painted the whole house, we painted the cabinets in the kitchen, added an island, and replaced the countertops and the backsplash in the kitchen. And then we did a bunch of smaller things like replaced the sliding door, added a wainscot throughout the dining
Put
room.
in recessed lighting all throughout the house. It was a
Yeah.
decent amount of work.
Yeah, but you guys had the ability to do it because you bought and then did the work and
Right.
then moved it.
Yes, and honestly, to John the contractor's credit, he got all that done in what, 3 weeks,
Mhm.
4 weeks?
And was on vacation.
Yeah, so very
Yeah,
impressive.
and let's talk about that too for the listeners here or the viewers. It is so important to have good contractors, man, because it really like that time. I mean, you could have had someone in there messing around for 6, 7, 8 weeks, waiting on things to order. He's got other jobs or whatever, but that was one of the reasons I hired John, is because John is. I mean, he put in a whole addition on my house in like 8 weeks, like 9 weeks. I mean, we were waiting for some stuff at the end, but like the most of it was excavated. No, I'm sorry, torn because I tore off the back of my house. He demoed, excavated, rebuilt the back of the house, and put in like a screened-in porch and a bluestone patio, and it was in the middle of the summer. And I mean, he did it so efficiently. So it doesn't surprise me he was able to do everything that you did. And what you did was not small. It was a major renovation.
Yeah, it was a lot, and he was also very honest, very honest, hardworking, efficient,
trustworthy. Because we were living in the city, so it was hard to get here early mornings. Just let him in. We just gave him a key, and he ran it himself.
Yeah. Well, and he's like a one-stop shop. So there's no like fluff to pay for. Like there's no marketing budget. It's all word of mouth. So he can usually make his pricing pretty good. Let's talk about what's your plan for like the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? You guys going to stay there? Is this a stepping stone or?
This is, and I feel like I'm glad this is being recorded, but I'm hoping that this is our forever home.
Nice.
Unless we have more than 2 kids, then we would have to move into another house, or we could make it work. It would just be a little cramped. But yeah, this house has 4 bedrooms. How many baths? 2.5 baths. A full basement. There's so much room to grow into this house.
How's Die Hard Studio?
Die Hard Studios is thriving. It doesn't look like it did when I moved in, but it's still it's doing really well.
It's doing well. So why don't you tell everyone about that a little bit? So you have like a side gig, right, where you do like shirts and merch?
Yep. So I run Die Hard Fan. It's a Philly sports inspired merch company. I do hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts. I don't have my own embroidery yet, but that is coming soon. And I sell mainly through Instagram and on my website. And it's called Die Hard Fan.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, to that point, with Die Hard has been probably the main reason that we've been able to keep, buy the South Philly house and then keep that, rent that, and buy this house. So that has been a huge help.
This is being recorded, sir. You're giving Emily all the props.
Yeah,
are you part of it?
Wouldn't be here without.
He brings the packages to the mailbox sometimes.
Try and help when I can.
The team effort. I remember when we were seeing houses and you started talking about Die Hard Studios. I'm like, what the hell? Or like Die Hard Studio. I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? So what is a piece of advice that you would give to a aspiring home buyer? Certainly an upsizer. So you guys had to move out of the city. You had dogs. You wanted more space, that type of thing. What is like one piece of advice that you would give to them? Or you can give multiple pieces of advice, but it's kind of a question that we ask a lot on this podcast.
My advice would be find a realtor that you can trust and that is very knowledgeable, like Seth, who can answer those questions, guide you through the process, knows the area, and has a track record of doing good work, because it's the X factor. Like if you need someone to negotiate on your behalf or know little ins and outs of how to word this or what to put in your offer, and just it's invaluable. That would be my advice. What about you?
I guess my first thought is you don't need as much cash as you think you do. A lot of the times people think that you need 20% to put down on these homes, and that's just not the case. Frankly, we've never put 20% down on a home, and you do need to pay an extra mortgage insurance. What does the P stand for? PMI?
Property mortgage private mortgage insurance.
Okay, yeah. So that's the extra cost that comes along with not putting the 20% down.
It's not that much.
It's very small. So I would just urge people to dive into the process. If you're currently renting, I would urge you to dive into the process quicker than you're expected to.
Yeah, and I want to note that like the Goodmans didn't buy in like 2021. You guys bought last year. Mm-hmm. So like your interest rate is not like 3%.
Right. We bought South Philly in 2020 where it was 2.5%. And then we bought 2023 at 7.75. I think it was something along those lines.
Yeah.
So kind of two ends of the spectrum.
That hurts right here.
I know, but we're gonna refi you out of that. I promise you. At some point, you'll get that call from Mike and I, and we'll get you out of there. So, and that's what a lot of people are doing right now, right? They're just saying, hey, life has to go on. Yes. And like, we're not like getting, I'm not telling my people, and I wouldn't want any realtor to tell their client to get reckless. And it's true. Some people don't have don't have the ability to pay some of these mortgage rates, but people are kind of like, after about a year with these interest rates, they said, you know what, life's got to go on. We're just going to do it. And we're going to refinance when things improve. So, all right. Well, that sounds good. Any final thoughts? Any added little tips, tricks for the consumer out there? Any also for dog owners? Didn't you guys put a fence in?
Oh yeah, we did. We did put a fence in.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, as hard as it is, try not to get discouraged when you're putting in offers or not getting accepted. It sounds cliche, but I feel like you do just have to kind of trust the process. Sooner or later, everything works out how it's supposed to work out. We've missed on a number of houses throughout our house hunts over the years that we can't picture ourselves anywhere but the place we end up.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's all meant to be.
Yeah, it's all meant to be. It all works out. Just kind of, you just gotta stick with it, and it'll come.
Yeah, I think what I told you guys is that like happiness can be found in multiple homes. Like, it's not like if you don't get that one house, like you're gonna live in destitution and misery.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, I appreciate you hopping on. I'll send this recording over to Jen just to taunt her a little bit. I don't know. I don't know where she is tonight, but
we missed you, Jen.
Yeah, she missed out.
Yeah. So actually, when we talked, she said we should all get together. So we'll grab Ian and Mackenzie and you guys, and we'll grab some dinner.
That'd be awesome.
Sounds great.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks, Al.
See ya.